See what God did to us, man.
Lift off and the clock has started.
Anyway, Knowing by Podcast episode 30.
Hola, hola. Hello,
We're back.
everybody.
For all you guys that don't know, if you missed, this is the season 2, the Level Up episode 30. We're 30 deep, Patty. I ain't gonna lie. The other week, I missed the first episode of the year, and not even the whole year. I'm talking about I've been going, I think, a couple weeks before the year. I think the new season started.
It was just Easter that week, right? It was just that.
Yeah, it was just Easter week. I didn't put out a podcast, but I mean, it's only 1 week, so I'm still doing good. And I think I did do 2 episodes in 1 week before, so I'm kind of probably ahead. You feel me? But I'm just trying to keep it consistent because I know, like, right now, I'm a podcast listener. Like, I think I consume more podcasting material than anything, right? And I'm mad right now. I'm mad because, like, one of my favorite fucking podcasts in the world, I don't know what the fuck they doing. They're on vacation.
What is their name?
Jesus and Mero, the motherfucking the Bodega Boys fucking podcast. So fucking hilarious. And I turned somebody onto it at work, and they really don't have like so much topics that they talk about as much as just talk shit about everything. You know what I mean? It's not like, so it's like 2 motherfuckers talking shit. I mean, I sent you some clips and stuff, but I'm mad because they ain't dropped shit since like March 9th, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck?
You need that. You need that relation. Man. You need that itch scratched. You need.
That's why I'm like.
You need your fix. That's
why I'm like, man, I gotta fucking, what's it called? I gotta get on my shit. It's like, I don't want to be like that. I know I don't got hella. You know, we got a lot though. I mean, we don't got hella fans, but we got enough to, you know, where I'm trying to make sure I keep it consistent. I'm not trying to do them like that and leave them hanging for hella long. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, real audio podcast listeners, they listen to it religiously. You feel me? Because I mean, for whatever reason, some people on their drives to work, they got a long drive. Some people at work, like me, for instance, we could wear headphones and shit. So you know, we apologize. You know, but I you know what I mean? I'm done talking about that because, you know what I'm saying? It's irrelevant at this point. You know, I done gave y'all. It may not be the most consistent, but it's 100% pure, baby. You can take that down and step on it a couple times.
Step 2.
And you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? So Patty, how you doing? Patty in her mode right now. She fresh out. When'd you parole?
Fresh out. I hate you so much.
I know if y'all know.
That's how I be acting though. Motherfuckers be like, you just get out? Like, why are you like this?
You do be kind of acting a little institutionalized and shit. Cause like Patty, I be trying to invite Patty to go do all kinds of shit. I'll be like, come over for dinner, just come over, hang out with us and all that.
Come be around these people. Come be around those people.
No, just us, the same people you see all the time. And you be like, nah, I'm so busy, I got shit to do. Really, you be laid down on your bed, all the blinds and all the lights,
self-care,
the TV is off,
busy.
and you're just laying there. And you're just staring at the ceiling. That's basically what you're doing. The brown recluse.
Bouncing a rubber ball against the wall.
Real institutionalized.
In an empty room against the wall, sitting across the opposite side.
Patty, real institutionalized. She be like she tells herself, all right, lights out. It's just the lights off and the TV off, and makes herself go to bed. It don't matter if she's tired or not.
The sun's out still. Kids are still playing.
The sun just barely went down at that. And Patty's like, all right, lights out. You done had chow at 4 o'clock.
You've had enough water for today.
Jesus Christ.
I'm good. I'm doing good.
No, I know you're doing good. And usually when you're like on your hibernation mode, I just don't fuck with you. I just leave you alone. I check in, but because you know I'm always gonna check in, but
this guy's hilarious.
For the most part, I know you're in the room. You know what I'm saying? You know you're cutting yourself and you're fucking spinning fucking.
That's not funny. People really do that.
You know what? I know, and it's not nothing like to laugh at, but I mean.
You're over here joking about it, my dude.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, I don't know what you do. How about that? How about I just say that instead? I don't know what fucking Patty be doing when she's by herself.
Because you're gonna say that if you were really gonna think there's something wrong. She really does.
They'll be like, that's why she acts like that. That's why she'll never come out of her house.
There's really something wrong with her. Like
Patty's gonna look like Killmonger under her shirt with hella scars all over her chest.
People really be going through that though.
No, people go through that. You know what I'm saying? And not to make fun of that, but like I said, it was just a wild guess. My bad. Is the first thing that came up to me.
That's not what I be doing, but like. I'm good. Just trying to keep up with life. I feel like it's like the season of a lot of action, of a lot of
Man.
Yeah, what is that word when you kind of you till and you plow the field? You know, when you put in your work to like, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I'm using the right.
No, I know what you're saying. Shit is
words,
like
I
circulating.
feel like, where you're like kind of getting down and dirty, and it's like it's time to put in work. It's like action. Yeah, like I feel like it's action mode. I feel like that's the season of the universe right now.
It is popping right now,
and
right?
It's like let's go, 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 go.
What are we revving up to though? Do you think?
Just life, baby.
Everything
that we deserve, everything that's coming to us, everything.
Now let me lay something on you.
Everything.
Check it out. Let me lay something on you. Do you think that you feel this way because it's spring and as humans and we've evolved in our civilization that we know that what this time of the year brings and it gives like a different energy.
Natural. I think that's
but I'm saying anything. Like,
and if anything, we take a cue from the world and from nature.
Yeah, no doubt.
Go ahead and go forward.
And what I mean by civilization, I just mean like the whole hustle and bustle now as humans that we know,
like everybody,
like how everybody acts around this time of the year. The sun's getting nice. People are planning trips. They're like,
but okay, so it's weird because I feel like people, if it was a regular year, as you know, it wasn't a pandemic year or whatever you want to call it. I don't.
It'd be way more.
Want to give it that much power, but I feel like people kind of get that reanimation, that restart, that recharge at the beginning of the new year. Fiscally, just like, you know, everybody has a New Year's resolutions. Mm-hmm. I feel like because of the circumstances that we had gone through this past year or so, that didn't really occur in January the way that it would have traditionally occurred.
Yeah, because we were like fucking bunkered down still.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck's happening?
And it's odd because the actual New Year, or what I consider it, is, you know, it's by, you know, the universe and nature in general, not the Gregorian calendar.
Cheerio, the Gregorian calendar.
That's so awful.
Fucking,
okay.
Yeah, fucking wanker.
Keep going with your left. Don't ever change.
The Gregorian calendar. What else were you up to, Patty?
So many different things.
Smoking fucking pot at the house. I don't know who the fuck I sound like
now. I don't know what you're trying to be.
Yeah. I went from like British to Australian to some other shit, like to having to take a shit.
Where like you ended up just like in the boondocks on some meth. It sounded like though wherever you are, it sounds like you aren't doing very well.
Man.
No. And so like the New Year started, you know, the Lunar New Year started in like the end of February. Mm-hmm. And now everything's reopening. So I feel like the New Year is starting more recently, more now, like in March and April, as to opposed to in January. And this is actually when spring occurs, when actually the New Year, in my opinion, really starts, because that's like a reincarnation, everything's being reborn, everything's starting over. So I kind of feel like all of that coinciding with itself is like a really big impetus of energy.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of saying too when I meant like about a society, because it didn't feel like that way, not because naturally, but because we weren't able to do our society normal things that we normally did, so it didn't feel. That's what I meant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, no matter what, naturally we're gonna have this kind of vibe to this time of the year because that's, you know, we respond to nature.
But it doesn't feel the same.
And it doesn't feel the same only because
and I like that it's coinciding with each other.
Yeah, and
I like that we're coinciding with nature and what's doesn't it kind of feel like the energy's more natural?
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't feel as forced to me. It doesn't feel so.
It feels like a little bit more
empty.
hope is what it is, because people, it seemed real bleak, and now this shit's starting to calm down a little bit. I'm not gonna say it's super calm or whatever the fuck, but now this shit's coming back to a little bit lightweight, what you would call like back to halfway what it was. I mean, you know, people have a whole new vibe of hope. You know, shit is different. You ain't constantly listening to some asshole sensationalize and disrespect and start drama and make it a fucking in the White House. You feel me?
That was a lot of the media fucking put in a microscope and put in, because nobody's talking about kids in cages no more, and there's still kids in cages.
You're right.
Not everybody's sitting here acting so divided over color anymore, and people are still doing that.
By the way.
No, that is not. It is not as big as it was last year. Period.
No, I know.
It is not as
just
big
wait,
because
they're still doing the trial right now, so they done calm down.
No, but I don't care. If he was still in office, it'd be a totally different story. Just because people want to go ahead and get ratings and
well, no, it's not
do
that.
whatever
It's
they
just
do.
that the media. I feel like the media had their little source of fucking material, and anything he did could be blown up. Because Biden,
that's what I'm saying.
they could blow up
we're saying
Biden
the same
too, and
thing,
they want to, trust me, they want to blow up Biden too. The thing is that Biden's holding his shit together and not giving the media no ammunition. You know that they said that all these media companies, their revenue and their overall viewership is down now. That what's it called, out of office.
Yeah,
Because they're running. They can't.
So we're saying the same thing, but different, I guess, purposes.
For different motives.
But either way, for me, again, like how you were saying before, everything has to be the same. Like, if y'all was this mad over fucking kids in cages last year, we need to keep that same fucking energy, because that shit's unacceptable at any fucking time. It's bullshit. And just because he's not in office no more, we don't care.
But this the
bullshit.
thing. But this the thing, though.
That's bullshit.
It's
we were fake mad about shit.
It's not even fake mad, because the people are gonna respond to whatever they feel. It's not even.
No, people are gonna respond to what the media puts a spotlight on, and the media can fucking misinterpret shit. Don't get me wrong. Again, I don't like Trump and I don't like Biden. I don't like either of them.
But see,
and I don't side with either of them.
And that's why
I just don't like how everybody just runs with whatever the media throws in their face.
And that's why.
That's what irritates.
And you know, we've been talking about that, because that's why I say this shit all the time.
Because it dictates a lot of what goes on in the world, and how people think and how we treat each other. And we need to not be able to allow
it's still that bad,
to be
though.
manipulated.
The only thing I don't agree
that.
with what you said is it's still that bad, though, because they just shot a little boy like
it is that bad.
13 bad. So
what I'm saying is that it's not that.
But they're not pumping it in the media.
But nobody cares as much.
No, people care. They just.
No, but they're not doing it. They don't have the same energy as they had last year. I don't care.
That's like how you said. That's because the media blew it up.
That's what I'm saying.
People do trendy shit. They just do it.
And so again, they be fake mad. They be mad, but fake mad. It's like, if that's something that you really care about, then we need to go ahead and put our energy towards that. Yeah. You can't just be mad because that's what's popular to be mad at right now.
You gotta do something. But there's people that are doing so. I know people personally, and I'm gonna have some people on the podcast that are actually out there and protesting and doing things like that, you know. And then
those are the real ones. Those are the people who aren't just like hopping on bandwagons. They're
but that's social media. That's another thing, though, Patty. I don't gauge like what people what the consensus of most people want based off social media. I gauge it based on conversations, really. And I'll look at social media, but social media ain't gonna.
It's not just social media. It's kind of always been like this. Whatever sort of media is dominant at that point. That's what's popular. That's what's trendy. People have always done like that, because like the whole 99% against the 1%. That's something that's been going on since the 90s, even before that.
And it's still going on now. You just don't hear about it.
But it's just again, yeah, exactly. People aren't as mad about it as they were before, and
they're just not pumping it, and you don't see it because they, like you said, they pick and choose. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean people aren't as mad. And
but us not being able to see it and us seeing something makes a big difference on what goes on in the world and how we treat each other.
That's why I say fuck all that shit, and I don't base my shit off the fucking what they put out there, because I know that there's more to it. Now,
I always try to get my information from multiple sources.
Exactly. I try to confirm it all the way around different places where even the two places don't have no kind of interest in one another, or maybe even beef. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point where you like the truth is the truth. But no, I don't. That's what we were talking about. Like, we're saying that the media, that's what it's for. It's there for it to ride whatever's the hot ticket. And right now that shit's not clicking. But I guarantee you,
they want it to be the hot ticket.
I know.
Like how the whole Asian hate.
We're saying situation. The same shit.
Yeah, exactly.
We're saying the same shit.
The whole Asian hate thing, and then also we know that Mexican street vendors have been hurt and even killed. Mm-hmm. But that's not what's focused on. Yeah, no. And that's not what's trendy right now. When all of that shit is fucked up, we shouldn't be spotlighting and picking and choosing. I get it; it's human nature, and we can only focus on one thing at a time.
No, we can't. I don't make no excuses for nobody else. To be honest with you, I feel that too. I ain't making no excuses for nobody. That's just how it is. But see, the thing is, that's the power of the media. I just don't like how oh yeah, let's go ahead and fight for this cause this week, and then next week, we just lost, all of our steam and all of our, real foundation with it, and we just gave up, and let's move on to the next thing that's popular. The media ain't here
that's
for. But see, this is the thing, though, and and for those that don't know and look at it, you gotta look at it like they're not here for. They're not here for to have honor in what they're doing. They're here to make money off of the news, off telling you shit that's happening. And what's going on, and bringing it back to us, the people that are not out there to see.
And we also know that information is, like, they pick and choose what information they want to go ahead
that's
and,
what I'm saying. Is
put up in the spotlight.
They don't care really if it's a black issue, a white issue. Really, what they care about is what's gonna burn up the most time and get them the most money and advertisement and eyes, dollars, and all that shit on top of them. So it doesn't matter what it is. Like that's why it's like I said. Just because we don't see it happening, they're not choosing to show. Fuck what they're going through. You could go out there. You could go out there and find exactly what you're talking about, and people that are actually out there doing things and making things happen for this shit. Yeah, it's not in popular TV, but that doesn't mean it don't exist and it's still not going. It's still a fight for people's, for everybody's rights. You know what I'm saying? And of all forms of people out here. You know what I mean? So and equality and everything that it's supposed to stand for and whatnot. But, you know, that's just the game, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how the fuck we got talking about this shit, because this shit is fucking annoying. But
I think we always end up talking about media is because it has a really big influence in our life.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right, because, like, right now, we're talking about also the vaccine and shit, right? And it's like, I'm not on here to tell people, hey, you should take it, you shouldn't take it. But I'm just not feeling that the way that it's that fast that it's out. There's not enough studying. There's not enough studies. And look, this just to throw this out here, play devil's advocate. I just seen an article. I don't know how true it is. I've seen it in a couple spaces, but it said that President Biden has asked Congress for like $687 million to end the HIV/AIDS pandemic. End it.
What do you
All
mean?
of us. That's what it said. I didn't read the article. So now let's now for anybody out there, before you go do your research. Just don't go run from here and say you heard it from me and this is what you believe. This is where you would want to go do your own research. But if if this is so, and I believe I've heard it on a couple of other media sites that are actually be accurate when they report stuff. So I don't want to throw none out there because I'm not giving nobody no clout. But and I'm not telling people where to go. But he said they asked for that. So that's all it took. Imagine that. They gave out more than that in the stimulus. Way more than that in the stimulus. You mean tell me all it took was $687 million to fucking finish the AIDS pandemic?
Out, yeah.
To knock it out? Do you get what I'm saying? So just food for thought for all y'all people that think that the president cares about what you do or what that. They care about influence. You feel what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you're not a direct influence on what they're doing or what they got doing, they're gonna play you. That's how I feel. I don't care.
I've seen this meme where the guy was like, he was like, so it was about people who don't believe in conspiracy theories at all.
Yeah.
At all. They're like, really? Not any? Really? You just out here thinking the government batting 1,000, huh? Like you think they ain't doing nothing, Chasey? Oh, okay. Like you must really. I started dying because even if you're not a conspiracy theorist, however you want to say it, you just trust the government completely and wholly. Wow, that must be.
So I'm a true patriot.
That must be.
And I don't need to make my own
that
decisions.
Must be
I make the decision to let someone else make my decisions for me.
Like that's just interesting to me. So that's funny. Like
God bless America, brother.
So I was thinking like how life was before media.
Gossip was the internet.
That's it.
Fucking chismosos and
that
shit.
That was just it.
Yeah,
from village
shit.
to village, town to town. That's what I'm saying.
You know, what's his name's hut don't even got a little window in his shit. And his hut, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? His shit leak at night time.
That's why I'm thinking
hating ass motherfuckers.
Media just came
sleeping under the tree
within the last 100 years or so. Like at the end of the 1900s, end of the 1800s. I mean, the beginning of the 1900s, end of the 1800s. So it's like. It's only a very small amount of time relative to how long humans have actually been alive that we've had this, and the influence and the power it has over our lives. And now it's almost like every single person in the world. It's made the world so much smaller. So I just be thinking like, just life before TV, life before radio, life when it was just you and whoever you was with. That's what it was in the sounds of nature.
That, like,
that might have been boring as hell too. I don't know if I'm like grateful or mad that I'm born in this era. I'm always grateful for everything at any time.
What if that's what if
I'm
there
just,
is
I be thinking about that like
what if there is
who was I in 1827? Like
but see that back then, what if there was no magic and it was just people knew how to trick people really well and deceive people really well, and they were out there you're out there living like you're a king. People
Humans
think
are
that
amazing.
people
I
think
believe
that you're
it. All them tales, all them myths, all the fairy tales, all the stories you hear about people. Those are real people that did some funny, crazy ass shit,
lied
some
like a
weird ass
motherfucker.
shit.
They
Like
was doing
you
some
see the movie
drugs.
Hercules with The Rock in it, right? And it was all about that, how he was a man, but he was more than a man. But it was the words. It was a story about him that made him bigger than life. Like same thing with like it's like the whole William Wallace and Braveheart. You know how he was like, oh yeah, you're not William Wallace. You're not tall enough. You're not.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, and I could also shoot lightning out my ass. And like, remember, like he was like the stories become bigger than the actual person, but the person is still amazing and dope and probably capable of fucking dope things.
So imagine living now, knowing what you know now back then and shit.
But it's the same shit. Like how towns and tales used to go from, towns to towns, and like the story
like
would,
I said, gossip.
You play telephone, but it's communication. Still at the same time. That's what the news is, right? Like that's what I heard, this and this and this, and we verified that. So that's still happening, but now it's on social media and it's going from page to page or like account
That's
to
wild.
account. Like, so I just be thinking like life without media, like.
Yeah, but even back to what we were saying though, with everything with the vaccine and shit, I'm just not ready. I ain't seen enough evidence. That's how I feel about it. I'm not telling nobody on here.
Do you understand that it hasn't been approved, but it's been authorized?
Yeah, because it's on emergency.
There's a difference.
It's an emergency. Yeah.
And authorized does not mean the same thing as approved.
Yeah, and there's
to
no
the
liability.
FDA. So we do not have an FDA approved vaccine as of yet for COVID-19. We have an emergency authorization in place that allows these companies to distribute.
I'm not really an anti-vaxxer, but I'm like
vaccines. It's just so new, and
it's
science
just too new. That's how I feel like. I
science
really
is just,
do.
We do not understand the complete ins and outs of science.
And I don't like the don't and do take it people to be pressuring other people and try to like. Yeah. It's like, bro, let you. You know what I'm saying? Be informed. I'll tell you anybody that's gonna take it, do your fucking research, but do real research. Don't go to Facebook and think that somebody on Facebook with a link that goes to a fucking website you never heard of knows what the fuck they talking about. Go do your own research from the official place.
The conviction and them acting like what they're saying is
like
without,
you need to take it. You need to take it. What's gonna happen? We take
any
this,
sort of error.
Take this so
possible.
we could return back to normal. It's like, what the fuck? Does that not sound wild? Or don't take it because they're gonna put nanobites in you. It's like, does that sound not wild to me or what?
The conviction.
Yeah,
the people that are sitting there pretending like they know when none of us know.
And for conspiracy
it's like just say I'm not sure, but here, this is what I know.
And for conspiracy theory sakes, if they are true, I mean, same thing. You ain't gotta fucking try to like. It's one thing to give people information or what you think.
It's just like with the religion. Like, you don't have to force your beliefs onto other people. You can provide them the information.
And don't try to say that you're gonna be the reason why people die and all that shit, because that's just not. Because like I said, I don't give a fuck. Look. How many people do you know that got the flu? And that you know personally, if any at all. I don't really know too many that have. That I know if they've gotten the flu since this all started because of the masks. They say the more people are cleaning their hands more. So
and because we're social distancing.
It's like, man, it doesn't take much to prevent this shit from spreading. You feel what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? But I don't know if I ever want to go back to the point where I'm in a crammed ass club with like people shoulder to shoulder. It's like I don't think I ever even with the full. Let's say tomorrow they say we got the vaccine. It's 100%. Nothing's gonna happen. Okay,
I just think that's you being around me and people like me too much.
Nah, I'm like that. Period.
You don't want to be around hella people. Man. Well, you were never really like that in general, though.
Exactly. My point.
Some people like to be around people like that. That's how they grew up. That's what they've been around. That's what they like. It's natural to them.
Smell each other's breath and you know what I'm saying? I seen a video.
Back in the day, everybody used to like bathe in the same vicinity.
I seen a video online where motherfuckers was chewing the same piece of gum and passing it to like 6 different people. I'm like, y'all. I was like, all y'all motherfuckers. It's just like, remember the pandemic? Remember what happened in the pandemic when that girl was licking the toilet and a couple other people that were doing risky shit like that and they ended up catching it? It's like, I'm not like people say that people still say it's not real. It's not. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for the people that say they've got it, and I can't speak for the people that've never got it. I'm not here to tell nobody what it is or what it is. It's a little funny, but you know what I mean.
What are you talking about right now? Where did we go right now in this conversation?
We talking about the fucking the pandemic, is it real? The
We're talking
vaccine.
about shared gum and whatnot.
Nah, but you know what I mean. Like how the fuck.
Community gum, like
That's disgusting, bro. It's really a video. I'm telling you. And I'm like, y'all TikTok motherfuckers got this shit fucked up doing that type of shit.
That's what I'm saying. What a time to be alive with this media that we have. We really have the whole world in our hands right now.
That's wild.
With our phones.
Yeah, that's wild. And I say that as I'm opening up my phone and looking at it right now.
And it's kind of the Wild West right now. Like.
Okay, so look. We'll take a little quick break. We're going to come back. Known by podcast. Keep it moisturized. You know what it is.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about.
Each other.
I did see that one.
We used to do that just for everything, though. There was a movie or fucking. It was a Chappelle show. I'm written, bitch.
We still do that shit. I'll be sitting there. I'll say a reference to a movie. And if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody came out right now. One shout out to Barry a bootleg or bootleg. I thought it's called bootleg or something. I forgot, but it's an account, right? And they put out a picture of a picture of a sweater. And you remember the old script that said FUBU FB, and it was like the script letter, you know, like it was script style writing,
like
the old school FUBU shit.
Okay.
But instead of the F and B, it was B. What's it called? BF. I mean, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
BUFU.
Yeah.
Bias. Fuck you.
Yeah, it was Bufu. And I was like, damn. I was like, who the fuck? Yeah, it was a B instead, right? Instead of the F. So it was Bufu. And I'm like, yeah, only motherfuckers that know that movie know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
But he's putting out a sweater and it looked like that. I was like, that shit's fucking tight.
That's hilarious.
So that just reminded me of that when we were talking about this shit right now. It's Known by Podcast. We're back. Episode 30. Patty, 16thWorld in the building. What's up, Patty? And she's, you know, she's on fire. She's in rare form, y'all. She's feeling it. She said she was running around fucking, you know what I'm saying, trying to yoke people up.
In
you know
like
what I'm saying?
mode.
Real
What is that when you're a shapeshifter?
Exactly. You hear it. You see what kind of mode she's in? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So what's up, though? We're talking about a lot of shit, right? And I guess over the weekend, Jake Paul, whatever, had his fight with, I don't know who the fuck it was. Apparently he was supposed to be some kind of fighter, or I could have got my info wrong. So don't, yeah, like I said, I don't really, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I don't really follow like the celebrity boxing thing.
Yeah, I don't really know too much.
But you know,
him,
like Jake Paul and is a
YouTuber.
and his brother, I forgot what the fuck his brother does.
He trains professionally, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, he trains professionally, but he's like somebody that just picked up the sport. So it's the difference between somebody that's played.
But hasn't he been like training for like what, at least a year now?
He's been training for longer than that. Him and his brother.
So
because
how long do you have to train for someone to take you seriously just because you were like whatever you were before? I'm
gonna tell you like this: some people just got hands, and he didn't have that. He's one of those people that when he first started training, you could tell that he was learning this shit from not knowing how to fight. Period. There's no way you're that fucking good. He's just fighting bullshit talent, bro. Or people, to be honest with you, and I have a theory about this, right? We were talking about this earlier.
I mean, again, though, if you actually train for something for X amount, even if it's only for 2 years, you can get exponentially good, even if you do it every day.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
Because that's just a part of physics.
Not
like the law of
maybe
nature.
certain things,
and does he
but
not seem like he
professional
kind of
sports.
takes that training seriously?
Maybe certain things, but not professional sports. There's a reason why not everyone makes it to the league, because everyone is not as talented. There's a lot of talented people, but it takes a lot to actually be considered a real pro athlete at what you do. So I'm not saying that he considers himself that. Actually, I know he doesn't, because he doesn't train. And you're saying that, oh, because he trains, he could go fight like pro, like he's a
No,
pro.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's not what I'm saying.
Nah.
I'm saying though, but I mean, not that he has to be considered that he's, you know, in any sort of rank in the league or whatever that, but is he not somebody that takes it, like if you do music and you started doing music 2 years ago and you were consistent
music
with
and boxing is two different things though.
There's skills though that you develop that even if you suck at it, you're gonna like get better at it regardless.
I don't know where you're going with this, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
I mean, I don't know what you're trying to say. Like I'm not trying to say that he can't fight or he can't fight.
I think you're saying because he just picks up. He just picked it up and he's been training for 2 years that he's good enough to compete, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, who is he competing against? It's a difference. Like,
yeah, he's not gonna compete with people that have been like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, when people like
Manny
people.
or
That's why like
Floyd
boxers are actually mad at this dude because they're like, he's fucking up he's disrespecting the boxing, whatever the fuck. And I don't give a fuck about that because it's, to me, I just feel like you know, it's entertainment. You know what I mean? It's all it really is. So you think
he doesn't take it seriously?
No, he takes it seriously, obviously, because he trains for it. But what I'm saying,
but then he doesn't take like the whole matches seriously, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, you
for
kind of
2
take
years
the culture
straight
not seriously
and still suck at something.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And you could, and the reason why we're saying all this is also because, you know, he won his fight with, I don't know who the fuck dude was, but he won his fight. But everyone, you know, there's a thing going around right now that they're saying that it's rigged. And I'm like, when I thought about that, I said I wouldn't put it past him, not because it's of you know, like I'm hating, but it just kind of like, it makes sense as somebody that's a YouTuber and made his money off making videos and doing pranks and shit like that. I mean, why would you not what's it called?
Use that same
why would you
strategy towards boxing now?
Well, yeah, and
using
why would you not?
Content.
Why would you not have it like rigged? Like it's entertainment. It's like, because the thing is like this. Everybody hates him for whatever reason, and I mean everybody. I mean people that follow sports. You feel me?
Haters.
I don't mean like the whole world, but I mean like people that follow sports and this internet fucking, you know, follow him and know him about what he does and shit, right? So they all know that, and people really, you know what I mean? How can I say? He's just they have it out for him already. So every time that he fights and he beats somebody, like when he beat the basketball player dude that came in,
yeah,
and was supposed
that
to fight,
it kind of doesn't really mean anything because every time people don't.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the same thing.
That's
exactly why I was saying that earlier, because it's like just the dude's learned how to play basketball his whole life. Either you know how to fight before you played basketball, or you're just one of them athletes that's all you know how to do and that's all you did, and you're trying to train to box. When this dude Jake Paul, whatever the fuck, he's been training, and he may not be fucking a great boxer, but he knows he knows what the fuck he's doing, more or less. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like that one seemed like rigged, like he knew he was gonna beat him up. Or maybe it was just real, you know. But I'm saying, as far as Jake Paul
I feel like that was more of a leveled playing field because it was two people who were amateurs in boxing, in a sense.
I guess, yeah. But you know what? Like I said,
and people would assume because.
But it's
I forgot who was the guy who went up against him. Like,
it was Nate Robinson, the one he knocked out. That they memed the fuck out. They memed the internet broke with that shit.
Yeah, and then that shit was wild. They were assuming because Nate is it was an athlete, you know, a pro athlete, that he was automatically gonna kind of like have the upper hand.
Well, and it's also talking shit. You know, if you're talking hella shit and you're talking pop, because Lamar Odom, and you know who's gonna box next? The next boxing match is Nick Carter and Lamar Odom is gonna box. That's the next boxing match. So that lets you know. So look, back to my theory though. Check it out. It's okay for Jake Paul to fight these fights and try to pretend like they're real, but really rig them. I wouldn't doubt it. It's actually smart business because everybody hates him, and every time they check in, a lot of the people that hate him, they check in to see if he lost. So if he was to actually lose one day, what's gonna happen is, he got what he deserved. The interest is gone. But if he could constantly, every time, I hope he loses this fight, the next fight, I hope he gets his ass beat this fight, and he's able to just keep people talking about it and string it along, and you know what I'm saying? He might be on some fucking folks, Rocky movie shit on there.
Please remember that this is the entertainment business.
Yeah, because they're not
It is an industry that is not regulated.
Yeah, and it's not a what's it called?
It's
not any boxing commission. It's not sanctioned by any of. It's entertainment. So remember that. That's why the difference is also with like, for instance, wrestling.
It makes you money.
For instance, like wrestling, it's no different than that if they was to fix it. Wrestling is real as far as like the slams and everything they do. They get hurt.
The physicality.
Exactly. But we know that it's scripted to a sense that at the end, you know who's gonna win. The crowd don't know, but they know who's gonna win.
The conflicts aren't real. Yeah, the beef ain't real.
Exactly. So I mean, it's smart business for him really to think if he does do that type of stuff, he could easily just pick and choose his opponent. Be like, yo, check this out. Here, go sign this note. You know, this no. No, there's confidentiality agreement. You're gonna get paid this much money. You're gonna get a whole lot of clout for doing it, but you're gonna have to lose whatever. You know what I'm saying? And
that happens in the business a lot. People don't realize that. Like, okay, we're gonna pay.
It's really real, y'all.
or to pay you to not say this or to say that.
Man, no, I'm gonna start doing my own. I'm gonna start trolling all these motherfuckers too. Fuck it, then, man. Let's just do that, bro. That's the new thing, Patty.
That's been since the beginning of time. What
Nah,
is that whole phrase? The snake oil salesman. That has been.
But that's like I said before.
People have been fugazing people since people have.
What if all the rich people that are rich now are really people from the future that went back in time with all their knowledge of what they knew and fucking just totally.
And you be talking about me, how I be going left with the conversation.
You know,
where do we go? Where do we go from there?
Hey, cue the X-Files music and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So. That's just for out there. Since since everybody's out there putting out their own fucking shit, that's my conspiracy theory.
Did you know that the
universe?
I'm
gonna sell that as an NFT, huh?
Did you know that the universe expands 100 miles in every direction every hour?
That's dope. That's fucking dope.
Dun dun. Cue X-Files fucking theme songs.
You know, so I'm gonna go.
What was that? That wasn't.
I don't know. That's the best way I could. That's how it sounded in my mind. But
that was not the X-Files, right? I want to make sure that's. I'm
gonna get the X-Files music and put it there. Fuck it, we gonna cue that shit. We gonna see what. Or we're gonna go online and get the bootleg X-Files music that's changed up such a little. Man, don't tell me like this. You've been in and out, up and down the fucking thing this whole time. Like,
I'm talking about right now. You're wearing a shirt that says Blaze and it has a flame on it. Like, what am I supposed to do?
I ain't mad at you though, cause you reminded me too. But still, let me get to my shit.
You're mad at me? Don't yell at me. Where's Mo?
Trying to get your best friend over here to team up on me and shit.
Where's Mo?
Fuck out of here. Anyways, it's Known by Podcast. We're moving and grooving, and yeah, you're right. Fuck, I don't even know what we were talking about, and it doesn't really matter because we're off to the next. You know what I'm saying? So where did you told me that, and I heard it from somebody else, but where do you know like where you heard the article that what you're talking about how they're saying they're developing breathalyzers for marijuana?
Yeah, I see it on High Times on their page, honestly. And they're saying
now
that
it's when you cue the X-Files music.
May be coming, as they used to do for alcohol, or they do for alcohol, for cannabis.
I don't trust that shit, bro.
Everything is kind of like the Wild West. It really is the roaring 20s right now.
Because what am I supposed to do? What if I smoke some weed? Yeah. And it wears off, and I drive in my car, and I get pulled over, but it's still in my system, but I know I'm not high no more. I don't feel high. And it's like, it's just because.
And so what's going to happen with that, possibly, is that then they're going to regulate that. They're going to say, like the same sort of, you could have, 0.0 whatever of blood alcohol in your system when you drive. They're going to figure out.
They're going to set a point.
They're going to try to regulate that in that sort of way, and that's what happens. That's why I never really kind of wanted weed to get popularized. Honestly, I really didn't.
It wasn't the thing to do because it was the thing.
It was fine the way it was when people just needed their medical cards. It was cool like that because when something gets big, industry and corporations tend to, they want to get their hand in it. They want to make money. That's what it's all about.
And just like everything else is going to get taken.
So whatever is big, they want to put their hand in it. And what comes with all that? Regulations and this and that and taxes and.
That's why.
So I kind of wanted. That's why the weed mad be having. When everybody was like legalize weed, I was like. Kind of like let's just keep it the way it is because big pharma is just gonna stick their hand in it. That's because
Patty's an outlaw and she didn't give a fuck. She wanted to mob around with illegal veggies in a baggie, like what's happening, not giving a fuck. She liked the danger of it all. She's a rebel. She's a loner. She's a rebel. Don't talk to her twice.
This secretly admires my life.
No, I secretly come up with scenarios of what you do when I don't see you. That you always be like, I'm not feeling it today. I got stuff to do today. Like, what the fuck did Patty be doing? So in my mind, you don't tell me. I'm gonna make up my own fucking scenarios on what the fuck Patty doing and shit. It's okay.
I be monking it out. That's what I be doing. Fucking hella Buddhism and.
Patty be hanging upside down by her feet and shit. She be upside down by her feet, like, you know what I'm saying? Reading a book, drinking coffee upside down.
Tigers.
You know what I'm saying? She's really at home, but she's transmutating into something else. You know what I'm saying? She's to another figure. Stay woke. So open your third eye. I have no idea, bro. We're trying to talk about the breathalyzers and the shit just went stupid ass left again. But yeah,
I don't want it. I mean, so that's what happens when it gets bigger. You know, things start to come into play, and so yeah. And then like, how many people are gonna be wrongfully?
Do you think like one day we'll get to the point where like it's so common where you just buy it like you buy it at the store? Like it's
and
like
then I think it will be
produce.
garbage at that point if it does.
Nah, but what if it's like the tastiest of the taste? You just go to the store and buy it. Like they sell it like how they sell that candy that's packaged in those little bins where you stick the little shovel in it.
But what are those candies?
I don't know. They're fire though, so I'm gonna go ahead and
equivalent,
if that's a word, to that to it being weed,
baby.
Because like shit, you're right. It's like the 20s. It's like it might just go be a whole turnaround with the shit.
It just depends because people tend to compromise quality for a profit, and that's the only thing the only thing that when it becomes commercialized is that it's hard to kind of it's just hard in general. So I think that's a good concept. So
yeah, and shout out to all the people that got real good weed inside some nice bags, and not just real nice bags and some shitty weed inside.
So when you have like a business or you start a business or you start any sort of concept, when it's small and it starts to thrive, I think a part of that comes from the success comes from the intimacy. You know, like you make an order, you fulfill an order or a song or whatever you're making, whatever sort of content.
You're more hands-on.
And yeah, it's more personalized, you know, it's more intricate, you have a lot of more details. So when you get bigger, you can't touch everything, right? So it kind of loses its flavor, right? Like when you start to be all up in the mix.
Talk science to him, Patty. Keep going.
When you start to get all up in the mix, you start losing the flavor, right?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So is it better for things
Patty sound like a pimp right now.
Oh my goodness.
Patty sound like she's stone cold pimping right now. Like, see, you gotta mix the flavor in for you can like.
So do you want to keep your business or your concept of your idea of whatever it is that you have that you want to put out into the world small? Or do you want to make it big? Like, and if you do, how do you keep it personalized? Like for RiBirth, you know, we get big. How do you keep it still Diz when you're not the one actually pressing it anymore? You're not the one actually touching every piece of article, like every article of clothing. You have to trust other people to execute your vision.
You do it by ruling with an iron fist.
Oh my God.
You're
not going to do that.
Every one of your plans are executed to perfection.
Okay, so that's a question. I want to know. Would you sacrifice a part of...
Not for what I'm doing, because I feel like that's not a longevity thing. When you sacrifice, when you do that, because think of a lot of brands that came and went.
That's kind of a part. You have to admit though, you have to relinquish some sort of control. Like, because we know people who don't want to go bigger because they're afraid they're gonna lose that personable aspect.
I feel like that only happens to companies
whether it's
where
music or
I feel like
whatever.
I feel like that only happens to companies when they get big, but they don't keep their core values. Because they can
how do you keep that when you have so many different factors coming into play now?
But
you know how that's crazy.
Because the people that have the ultimate say-so are the ones that are gonna should have the most hands-on. So somebody that's running the company, whatever, that's in charge of whatever department is to get that out there like that, right?
So let's be specific. Let's say a clothing line.
Okay, so clothing line. For instance, let's say I have my clothing line. I've been doing it good. I've been making my own shit for years and years and years, and it's starting to blow up now. I got a big distribution deal. I'm starting to make money. What am I gonna do?
Well, let's talk about the process of that. That's what I'm talking about. You start to lose.
No. I know that, but let me explain to you. Let me get my point out real quick first, because we're talking about the same thing. Like, I'm running it. It's time for me to go ahead and we're growing. We're expanding, like you said. What am I gonna do? Well, the first thing that I'm gonna do is that no matter what kind of deal and how big it is, I'm still gonna have a major role in everything. Say so, because a lot of people like the higher money brands are very refined and have stringent guidelines and goals that they go by, set forth by the designers that work in that house. You feel me? So the same thing would be for me. Like, anybody that helped me with this part of that core, I would of course introduce some new stuff to it. But as long as the main part of all my departments know that our core values and what the fuck we're trying to do, we're gonna get that point. So no matter what, if you go big, you're gonna always lose somebody, because sometimes the mistake.
Or what if you have to compromise? So let's say.
No, but that's the same. That is the compromise. The compromise is that okay. A lot of other people working are going to do all of the other work that I would normally do as well. We're going to just set out the battle plan. They're going to go carry it out. and as long as they're carrying it out.
Let's like say,
but that's what I'm saying. Like when people get removed from who they are, like for instance, let's say Fubu, you know, a lot of Shanjan. You don't see these brands really no more. They're out there still, but they're way smaller. They're not big monsters like they used to be. And that's because I think they got so big and they just started doing any old thing and lost touch. Exactly. The core values of the people that, like, because maybe Diddy wasn't so much hands-on before that anymore. We don't know. And I'm not saying he was or he wasn't, but something happened with the internal part, because that's what always happens. The product will suffer because if the internal part ain't right, you know what I'm saying? The who do you got? Who's your management? Who's in charge of this department? You know, are we working hand in hand? Am I getting to see? Okay, I came up with some designs with some other designers. This is gonna be the next fashion line. Y'all need to carry this out. I need you to go get me the fabrics, whatever the fuck. You know.
So let's say you had a design that you picked out for the spring, you know, release, and let's say that you had that in mind. That's what you've been working on for months, and then let's say that for whatever reason, production, the people, they couldn't get it out in time, that specific design that you had. So then you're like, okay, well, we can't do that. But they're like, okay, but production can get out this alternate design. That's where compromise kind of comes in for business.
I would do
so
that. So
you would still...
No, I wouldn't. I would only do it. The alternate design would have to be alternate design that I made. You dig what I'm saying?
What if it wasn't? And what if there was a demand for your spring line?
But I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. Then
it
doesn't
come out?
Wait. It doesn't come out. That's the difference between... Okay. And people do that. Real designers and real people that do that.
And that's what I'm saying. There's certain sacrifices and decisions that you have to make as a line. And
but I'm gonna tell
when
you
your
like
business
this,
gets bigger,
and I'm
there's certain
compromises
that kind of like... It's... what do
but
I
you
do?
know what, though?
That's what I'm saying.
I said,
If
you keep your core values...
so let's say if you were smaller, you could have came out with the first initial design. Do you stay smaller and come out with the first initial design, or do you go big and sometimes you just know that that's gonna happen?
No, because that's not a recipe for longevity, like I said. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go with what I got, and that's the same thing with these rappers that they get on, they start doing streaming. They should stay independent. They just need to get their business together. And if they stayed independent, they would have their own millions.
I like it.
Instead, they go fucking sign bad deals and get stuck. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying?
So as long as you sticking to what you know you're supposed to do,
you have to.
You go with that and just
however
whatever comes with that.
And when you're doing it yourself, then you don't have and you don't have to answer to very many people. Like once you take it to the point where you're taking investors and shareholders, yeah, you have to do something. You know, if you go like that's different. But that's there's companies out there that are multi-million, even billion-dollar companies that aren't public. You can't buy no fucking what's it called for this.
Yeah.
So like I don't have being to that point where I have to bow to other people's influence. I'll never be in that situation because
you just don't live your life like that.
Well, no, it's not that. I'm just not gonna put myself in a situation to get bigger faster. But then I'm handcuffed and I'm like no different than like I said, signing a bad deal. So before I do that, I'll take the long hard way. But I know at the end I'm gonna get the money. I'm gonna have to do more work, but I'm gonna get the money.
But
I'm gonna
again,
get the
your core values maintain.
And I'm gonna get the product off like I've liked it because I've done it before. I've done it with a few products where the things didn't land when they were supposed to, so we just flipped it. But we flipped it because something was going to drop. But since the thing that we said we were going to drop, we're going to give them either something better or something that's totally different that we could pull off fast. You feel me? It's never been a compromise.
You weren't happy with the outcome. Because then you're not doing it
from your heart.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
like,
not really real.
Because that's the shit that succeeds. I feel like that's the shit that prospers. Is the shit that really.
And I feel like a lot of these big companies that get small and you don't hear about them no more. It's the same thing. Like
because that type of compromise makes people kind of discouraged from getting big or doing, there's people who are salt of the earth and they're like they just want to keep it small and they want to and getting bigger is not something that's
scary to them or it's not something that appeals to them.
It's kind of like greedy. It's kind of like again you're compromising, you're selling out in a sense, not selling out so much, but it just all depends on what you're in it for. If you're in it for just to keep it a small business and you don't care in your designs, and even then you could be big money because even then if you're like a company that I make only a limited amount of runs every year. This is the amount I make, but I get so in demand and so popular. I could raise my prices up and be like even more, like what I'm saying, like to where it's crazy if I wanted to, like I'm so in demand. This is very strenuous. And some people want to keep it affordable.
And some people want to exactly, and I ride the fine line. Like I want to keep my shit affordable, but I do have some higher end stuff. But even my higher end is really not expensive compared to other people because I just dropped the windbreaker right now. it's going for $45. People sell them for like 60
and
all
I
day.
find like when you start to try to expand your business or you start to evolve in general, you kind of have to always fight that too, kind of like, you know, your growth against like your roots in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, so it's always like trying to find that balance. I think.
You know what? To be honest with you, with me, personally, from just doing it, I don't really even think like that at
That's
all.
Good.
Like it's and it shouldn't be. Nobody should
no,
because you know what? Like when you live your life, you know when to compromise and when you don't compromise and when you don't have to compromise. And when it comes to art, I feel like you shouldn't compromise for anybody. That's why I'll do songs like the song I played for you. Mm-hmm. But I could do the new shit too all day. Yeah. It's just that what I like, what personally that speaks to me more.
That shit was hot too. You guys should pressure him to put that one out.
That's something that I prefer. You know what I mean? And something that makes me feel good, makes my soul feel good, right? So but it's never a compromise because I like to do all kinds of music though. So I will do like some new trendier shit, some new more fucking, you know, whatever, and I could just take it back old school with nothing but just bars and tell a story, you know, my words and shit, you know. So it's the same thing like with people that it's your art. When it's your art, you're gonna want to. Hopefully, some people just do it and feel like, look, I'm so full of ideas. I'll create this, get it, build it up, sell it, and then I'll go create something new. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really a thing of like where they look at their product like it's their soul and their heart and soul, what they believe in. It was just like a nice idea. It's just an idea. That, you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that too. Salute to the people that do that.
Capitalize off of that. Like they have like their little ideas of like the little, you know, like the little seen on TV products, like the little mops that you press the button and it rings them out, or the little clap-ons, or
they sell them for cheap.
That's what I'm saying. Like those little
buy them for super cheap, and they just making hella money off. Mm-hmm. Like I don't knock nobody's hustle though. So like whatever, I don't give a fuck if you're selling. You know, shit on
really useful, like the
windshield wipers or whatever the fuck you selling. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, you're making money. Whether you just want to do it just to make some extra change for the house, or you really one day have aspirations of doing something big, fuck it, go for it. Yeah. To be honest with you, I wear mostly streetwear, and it's by choice. I mean, like I said, I like other brands, you know, like Polo and shit like that, which are big, you know, bigger companies and stuff, and I still buy stuff from them. But I don't really buy like. You know what I'm saying? Like the Gucci shit. That's never really been designer. Really never been my thing. I've had it though. But I just like what I like too.
There's some designer shit that's dumbass ugly that I'm like, ooh, I would never.
And there's some designer shit that's fucking tight. You see, you're like, okay.
And there's some just like some street shit that I'm like, ooh, that's
hot. Oh yeah. And going back to what I was saying though, that's why Gucci and Versace and all them shits like that, they never fucking compromise what they do. That's why they're the best, because they use the best products, the best materials. They use the best and
a
fucking
lot of
artists,
their stuff is actually
the best
like
tailors.
handmade, and the people are actually paid well.
So that's what I'm saying.
Which once you start looking into the fashion industry and you know what's what and who's
so
who,
we know that
some of that is like, oh, okay, I'll pay for that because
it's an art piece now. Almost.
Not just that, but also like these people got paid. This is how much it costs to actually pay for something when people are paid right.
Yeah, and think about it like this: when you're buying something from somebody that's been crafting stuff like this their whole life, that you're also buying that experience. I feel like because that's
how
make
you view
shit.
Fashion. Can't nobody tell you.
Yeah, and that's I feel like that's how I view anything else.
Everything is art. You are art.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? He remember he was your art, bro. He goes, your
James
mom.
Franco
your mom was the canvas. Your dad.
That's how we really feel. That's hilarious because we really feel like everything is art. But that's true because what is art? Art is a form of human expression.
I think that's like our fourth movie reference in this podcast, by the way. And we said, you know, how we always referencing shit like this is real life, how it goes. You know what I mean? My church is...
Again, how media influences us.
Yeah, but see, that's media I choose. You feel what I'm saying?
No, I didn't say there was anything wrong or right about it. I'm just saying, example A.
I'm telling you though, but you know, it is what it is. No Vibe Podcast. I think we're done, yo. I think we could keep going, but you know what I'm saying? We're not. It's pretty hot here. It's time to go get some of this good food cracking and
microphone you know what I'm saying? Across the room at your face.
Yeah, Patty mad because she was on a roll right now. You wanna go, Patty? You could go another 30 minutes while I go chop vegetables and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Chop vegetables and shit.
You wanna go do that? Well, I'm gonna leave the podcast with Patty, y'all.
No, you are not.
Y'all, you go ahead, keep rocking, Patty.
Thank you.
I'm gonna step out right now. No Invite Podcast. Look, she's already getting up. She's like, you're not gonna leave me here. She's not here. No. Hey, Patty's. Hey, I can't even imagine. I mean, I could hear you doing a podcast by yourself, but I could never imagine you actually getting up and turning it on and talking by yourself about who the fuck knows what, your alternate lives, your other lives that you live, the life of Purtiy the assassin, and you're like Roger from fucking American Dad. You know what I'm talking about? The motherfucker's a new person every fucking day.
I always fucking remind you of somebody hella many, bro. Like, I don't know if I should be flattered or insulted.
Are you disrespecting me? Sounds kind of negative.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
No Invite Podcast, episode 30 in the books. Season 2, The Level Up. Thank y'all. Make sure you guys follow Purtiy. Purtiy, where can they find you at?
16thWorld.
On Instagram, by the way. You know what I mean? You can find me at no_invite_podcast. I've been digging the slander. You know, I dropped a little comment. Like, you know, I stopped talking about Trump shit. Like, as soon as before the election was over, right? But I seen a video and I was talking about how this lady, and there's a lot of people that be making videos. So I don't know if it's cap, like they're just lying, or it's really a thing and people really believe this shit. But they're like, Trump is still the president. He controls the military. And in real soon, he's going to reveal himself as the true president. And it's a thing, right?
Okay.
So I made a clip when I'm talking shit about that. I was like, man, I didn't make a clip. I talked about it on a podcast and I made a clip and posted it. And I'm saying, like, basically, you know what I'm saying? If you go, I want you to go look your Trump friends that, you know, turned Trumpsters when he was in office. Go ask them seriously, sincerely, if they really believe Trump is here. Because then you'll know who the fuck's crazy and not. You know what I'm saying? Trump is still a president is what I'm saying. But you'll know who's crazy by that, right? So I posted it and people got mad, bro. I got some Trumpers in my shit. They were talking shit, which I respect because at the same time they said their little points. You know what I'm saying? One even kind of insulted me, but it's like it don't bother me because I don't know you, right? So I don't care and I don't get into all that anyways, right? But I was like, yes, it hit his target. You feel what I'm saying? The clip hit his target because I posted, you know, I'm assuming that the algorithm on Instagram is showing it to the people they feel like is most in common with me. So when people hit the little they hit to check the fucking thing, a couple people were mad about the whole Trump thing. I'm like, bro, they're like, yeah, you like it? I was like, bro, I'm raising the question. I'm like, go ask them. Like, I haven't seen any of my ex-Trump supporters or whatever friends that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what they are now. But, you know, it's a serious question. Like, do you really believe that shit? Like, because if you do, it's like, damn, bro, like, where are you really getting your info from? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's because a lot of people believe that shit. And with all this shit going on, all the paranoia, I think that's what's sparking all these fucking, you know, all this violence and shit. So, everybody, man, make sure you guys are safe out there. No Invite Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know, I hate to segue into that, but I'm really trying to get off the mic. I really don't want to talk about that shit because that shit be whack as fuck. You know what I mean? But you can find us on YouTube. I have somebody. I don't have an intern. He's like a paid intern, but he's gonna pay. I'm gonna pay him. He's gonna start uploading all my videos because I haven't been keeping up with my YouTube. I lied twice to the people, Purtiy. I lied to him and said I was gonna catch up.
A man is only as good as his.
Man.
Only has two things in this world.
His balls and his word, man, right now. And my word, I got it, but you know, it's kind of shabby right now. I need to apologize for coming on here like that. I gotta definitely, you know what I'm saying? Gotta check myself. I'm gonna go have a drink. You know what? I'm gonna go sit myself down and smoke some weed and really think about it. You know what I mean? And just
you do.
Check, you know
go sit yourself in the corner.
Go sit myself in the corner.
Isolate yourself.
You feel me?
Turn the light off.
You know, like Purtiy does when people are, when it's like bright as fuck, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, she's in her house, jet black, shades. All the shades drawn, no TV on, no TV on top of her bed, over her blankets. Room. She's not even under the blankets. She's on top of her bed, just laying on top of, staring at the ceiling and shit. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here. No Invite Podcast, RiBirth Entertainment, or RiBirth Media Films. You can find us. You know what I'm saying? And it's over. We out.